Hello everybody and welcome to the NCAA Football 2007 Dynasty Mode Series, as we are now starting on year 4 of the Dynasty, and they have Tristan Cox being the Heisman hopeful this year. It would be the first time in this Dynasty that a defensive person has won the Heisman. We will get to the preseason poll in a second, because we are not number 1 in the nation, surprisingly. If you've seen the synopsis video just released before this one, you will see that we were ranked number 4, and I told y'all we had the 12th best recruiting class, and we only had 15 people in our class. We didn't have any probations. I just didn't try to do all that stuff in the offseason, try to get many people. So we're going to try to get a good number of people in this next one and next season's recruiting. Tristan Cox. Now last year he did pretty well. 119 tackles, 77 sacks, 17 forced fumbles, 16 fumble recoveries, 2 defensive touchdowns. And he is a beast too. If I can just get his player information to pop back up there it was. Yeah, you saw he was 6'7", 269 pounds. How can you stop that? In my opinion. How? How do you stop a man that is 6'7" and 269 pounds? 269 pounds, 6'7". Now, Craig Rayner, he's right behind him in the Heisman voting. Last year, he had 138 tackles, 55 sacks, even a couple of interceptions, 16 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and a defensive touchdown and a couple of pass deflections. Right behind him is Chris Pleasant, the guy on the other side of the ball, who had 116 tackles and 64 sacks, along with forcing 8 fumbles, recovering 6, and having a couple of defensive touchdowns himself. And Lincoln, I was able to bring this guy back. 19 tackles last year, only 2 sacks, but 20 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 17 touchdowns. He even got a pass last year. I don't know what formation I had him in. Maybe it was on a fake punt or something. I don't know. 6, right? Okay, I must have rolled a couple of times out of fake punts. Okay, I question my play calling at times, because how in the same hell did I let Lincoln throw a pass when he's a strong safety? He only had 8 punt returns last year, but he's gonna be the main punt returner this year with Peyton being gone. I was about to say, 2006 he won the best returner award. So yeah, and then we have Cole from Texas being the 5th guy on the list. So it's not all dominated by McNary Central just yet, but I say give a little bit of time. I'll just give a little bit of time. Maybe we'll have Darius Smith, the new quarterback, come up the rankings and get into the Heisman hunt as well. But he probably has some work to do, considering he doesn't have that much in the stat sheet compared to Tristan and Chris, and Craig and Lincoln. So if we're going off of last season's stats, Tristan's probably the winner this year. Okay, there it goes. Now let's go and take a look at the preseason polls, because the interesting thing is with the preseason polls, you can see everybody's position at the beginning of the year. With number 1 being Texas, number 2 being Florida State, number 3 Oklahoma, we're number 4, with an A+ overall, with an A- offense, A+ defense, and a B+ special teams. Our special teams has never always been that good, but with how often we score, we just need to kick extra points and just to have the punter do some little punt every once in a while, just to feel kind, so that way we're not completely running up the score. At number 5, we have Penn State, 6 Wisconsin, 7 Ohio State, 8 Arizona State, 9 Auburn, 10 Michigan, 11th Arkansas, 12th Tennessee, 13th Notre Dame, 14th is West Virginia, 15th is Iowa, 16th USC, 17th Missouri, 18th Colorado, 19th Florida, 20th Oregon, 21st Tampa Bay, 22nd Minnesota, 23rd Oklahoma State, 24th is Mickey, and 25th is Michigan State. 26th San Diego State, 27th South Carolina, Virginia Tech, Northern Illinois, Virginia, LSU, Boise State, Nebraska, Bowling Green, Kansas State, Maryland, NC State, Texas A&M, UNLV, Miami, North Carolina, Navy, Cal, Western Michigan, Louisiana Tech, Georgia, Texas Tech, Alabama, Colorado State, and FIU all round out the top 50. Now I'm going to scroll all the way back up here since I'm on the ranking thing. And this year's initial bottom 10, we are starting off with Army, then we'll have Middle Tennessee State, then BYU, then San Jose State, which they're coming in at D+, which is okay. I mean, Army's coming in a flat out D. So, they have a C+, well, C- offense, C- defense. Special teams probably bringing them down. Then we have Idaho, then Marshall, then Ball State, then Utah State, then Duke, then Eastern Michigan. Bowling Green, I'm going to see, well, not Bowling Green, Boston College. Team I talked trash a lot last year, starting the year 102nd in the rankings. And conference outlook, we have us at the McNary Center projected to win independent, although we're independent, we don't really have a conference. Northern Illinois is projected to win the MAC. San Diego State's projected to win the Mountain West. Arizona State's projected to win the Pac-10. Auburn's projected to win the SEC. Tennessee's projected to win the East. Sunbelt, FIU, surprisingly. WAC is Boise State. Although if you saw my most recent video on the WAC, these three are the main three teams to look forward in the WAC. ACC belongs to Florida State. And the Big Ten's going to be Penn State's again this year. Big 12 belongs to Texas. The North will belong to Missouri. The Big East is West Virginia, although Syracuse could pull upset. Conference USA belongs to Houston. And that's it. And we are not in the toughest places to play. But let's go ahead and now get to my favorite part. The 5 key games for the week. As soon as this fully loads with the picture of Tristan Cox on the cover. Now, first few weeks, I'll admit, it's going to be tough to try to find some storylines because it's early on in the year. It's hard to find some storylines that could connect with last season. But we're starting off with this one. The top game here, McNary Central, ranked number 4 in the nation against Texas, who's ranked number 1 in the nation. Like, look at that. A 39 game win streak, and yet we're not number 1 in the nation. The people in McNary Central are furious that they, the 3-time defending, undefeated, undisputed college football champions of the world, are ranked only 4th in the nation. They are on a vengeance tour with their first 3 games, starting with the team ranked 1st in Texas. The Longhorns think this will be easier because the Bobcats no longer have Dylan Miller and Peyton McMahon, but they have been practicing on finding new ways for the offense to be clicking on all cylinders. And trust me, I've gone in practice mode a bit, see what I can still be able to do. Although with 4 receivers and with their needing to be a fifth guy, I put Lincoln as the fifth wide receiver, so hopefully that won't fully backfire on me. I'm hoping. We'll find out in the future, but we'll find out. This will be a blowout of epic proportions. So I say enjoy this game if you need someone to help you fall asleep at night. And the reason why I say that because starting at 8 p.m. and if you want to watch that game at 8 p.m. on September 5th of 2009, better prop yourself up, get ready to go to sleep, be prepared for work in the morning. Now one game that immediately caught my eye afterward is this one. Louisiana Tech versus Stanford. You know, this on paper doesn't seem like that good of a matchup, but I like the story here. The defending WAC champions are choosing to go into an underdog kind of fight against a Pac-10 team. The Bulldogs are planning to walk into Stanford Stadium and upset the Cardinal on their home turf. Stanford will probably have planned to stop the passing game that was so dominant last year, because that's basically what won Louisiana Tech a lot of their games, with their passing offense. And the thing is, they turn the ball over a lot too, like 28 interceptions. That's not good. But like I said, if they could calm down those turnovers, I can easily see them winning the WAC again, no problem. And I feel like Stanford could probably beat Louisiana Tech talent-wise. As in, this should hopefully be a close matchup, but I kind of see Louisiana Tech kind of pulling off the early road upset right now. And as you can see, a lot of these games like TCU versus Stanford, Oklahoma State, Chattanooga, South Carolina versus Georgia Southern, like not all that interesting matchups. I mean, even the Tennessee's going against Southern Illinois, so that like it's hard to find stories with Oklahoma if they're going against Mississippi Valley State, you know. But this story I found highly intriguing. San Jose State decides to open up the year against number 16 USC. San Jose State is feeling very good after winning last year that they decided to challenge the best team in the state of California in USC. Now I say in the state of California because McNair Central is based in Tennessee. Going against a ranked team early on will test them on many levels, and USC will most likely get the easy win, but the Spartans will battle the Trojans for victory, even though they know they will come up short in the end. And yeah, this looks like a David and Goliath matchup if I have ever seen one. I give them props for wanting to start off the year strong enough, as a win against a ranked team on the road will have big implications later on in the year, whether for the winner or loser. And San Jose State, if they come out on top, they won't be in my bottom 10 rankings at all next year, next week. But if they do, they might end up like in the bottom half, because it's expected to lose to USC when you have a C+ defense against an A- offense. So, but I like the story here. San Jose State, you know, they got their first win in 20 games against Louisville last year, who, by the way, is opening up the week against Kentucky. So, going into this matchup after getting a taste of victory last year, I can see the understanding is just that you kind of set the bar up a bit too high right there, San Jose State. And you know what? I'm kind of curious to see what the rest of their schedule holds up. Let's see. Here we are. Cincinnati, okay. Bit more fair of a matchup right there. Then on the road to Stanford, which could be an interesting story right there, especially if Stanford loses to Louisiana Tech. Then they have bye week 4, then Nevada, Utah State, Boise State. Then they get into the conference play with a random game against Ohio thrown in the middle. And then finishing the year against New Mexico State and Idaho. And the next one I noticed, I see Akron, Syracuse, could be a story there. Toledo, Purdue, same, but it's just probably just random games thrown together. Like same with Central Michigan, Michigan State. You know, possible battle for state supremacy. You know, Appalachian State, Georgia. Like, what can I come up with that right there? But this one I was able to find a good story between number 20 Oregon and Boise State. The Ducks were embarrassed by Boise State last year at home, so they decided to go to Boise State and challenge the Broncos at their place. I feel like this should be a good matchup, as the Ducks are starting off ranked, but Boise is so close to being ranked themselves, I think. Let me go double check. One good win here, and Boise should be ranked. And I think this will be a close matchup, and Boise State, I think, could pull off the upset 2 years in a row. But let me double check, because I know Boise State is kind of close to being ranked. I forget if they're like in like 29 or like somewhere in the 30s. And I feel like if they could dominate against Oregon, they can easily move up in the rankings, although I don't see much moving right now due to the fact that it's early on in the preseason. A lot of these teams are facing like the FCS schools, you know. And 20. Yeah, Boise State 32. They get a good enough win. They could just barely be ranked against Michigan, like being where Michigan State's at. Maybe knocking on the door like in 26th or 27th. You know, I could see that happening. You know, and the last game that I saw that had an interesting story going into it was not West Virginia and Marshall, because Marshall was in the bottom 10, but they somehow pull off the upset here. West Virginia starting to fade a little bit, so, but I don't think it's enough. Same with Ohio State, Rutgers. While Rutgers has a decent offense, though. That should be something to actually kind of watch there, though. Like Sacramento State, Northern Illinois. What am I supposed to do with that storyline? You know, UCF versus 1AA Northwest. Like, seriously? Texas A&M Air Force, could try to find something there. San Diego State, UCLA, I could try to think of something there. As I was scrolling through, past all these other games, there was some possible meaningful ones. Then we get to like the teams just facing random teams. Very Illinois, that kind of caught my eye a little bit. But this right here is the last key game in my eyes for the week. Number 11 Arkansas traveling to Boulder, Colorado to face on Colorado, ranked 18th in the nation. We have a top 25 matchup opening up the year. Now granted, we also have a top 5 matchup happening 2 hours after this game starts, but nonetheless. In this SEC Big 12 matchup, we have a top 25 game that should be an early game to watch in the year. A win here can easily help with any momentum in the respective tough conferences, with Arkansas still having to deal with teams like LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, dealing with those teams. They need this win to have momentum against a tough opponent, so that way they can be more prepared later on in the year. Because we saw teams like Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, they're going against FCS teams. They're going against weak competition. They're going against like the schools that you just pay to beat up on. It's like you're the rich school bully, and you see a poor kid. It's like, here, have some money. Let me just punch you real quick. Whap. Okay, thank you. Like, that's what they're doing. But these two teams, they're like, nah, we're going to have a heavyweight fight here tonight. And Colorado has Missouri, Nebraska. I looked at their schedule. They also have Texas, Oklahoma State. So they need this win as well, because the Big 12 is no joke. Same with the SEC. I mean, the SEC is not as dominant as it is nowadays, but still, you can have a chance. You can have a shot of easily becoming the big dog out of this matchup here. One team will walk out of Boulder with the win, as neither team needs to lose to a tough opponent. But I think Buffalo will walk out of this one mainly because they have the better defense. It'll be close though, but they should have enough in the tank to win this closely. I say this game could possibly even go into overtime, as those are the main key games for the week. As we wait for this to load fully again, and I will show you some of the preseason All-Americans heading into the 2009 season. Now, it's not going to be fully filled with McNary Central players like it has been the past 2 years, but I feel like it's still going to be pretty heavy on the McNary Central theme. Yeah. I mean, Cruz, Rawls, and Roach are 3 guys right off the top that are McNary Central, along with Bell, Yancey, Smith. You know, a lot of our linemen are probably on here as well. It would just stop taking forever to load the people. Yeah, Gallows is one, Cox, Pleasant, Rayner. Like a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball probably on here, like Richard, Kendrick, Gene, yeah, Lincoln's there. Yeah, Daryl Bowling. He's our punter, and he's on there. That's just for first team. Second team, we got Sheldon Benjamin on there. Probably got a few of our guys on here as well, as it's taking forever to load again. But yeah, we have a lot of guys want to try to be All-Americans. Okay, Sheldon's the only one All-American second team. Probably got a good portion of guys. Yeah, Hardy's first team conference, RVD's first team all conference, Brian Bell's first team all conference. Yeah, we got a lot of guys being first team conference. Oh, apparently second team all independent doesn't have a quarterback. And that's a glitch. That's a glitch if I've ever seen one. Now, do you not have a second team all conference quarterback? Guerrero was there. And what? Hold on. I need to go back now, because our kicker, Rey Mysterio, is up. Yeah, okay, Courtney Collins and Rey Mysterio. The kicker is a second team return man. Well, that's a sign that I should go ahead and end this episode, because the game has gone a little loopy. So until then, I will see you all next time.